Hey everyone, this is your girl SolieSims, and we're doing the final build so far for my Whispering Willows Let's Play that I'm going to be starting in Henford and Bagley. And this one, I'm going to tell you all up front, guys, it's going to be jumping all over the place simply because of, like I've been saying in the last few videos, it's time constraints and just trying to get everything done and trying to shorten the video as well. So there will be a few transitions coming along, and I ask you to bear with patience with me and just try to enjoy the video. So if you've been following what I've been doing so far, you know by now that I have done the Honeyfield Dairy Farm, and we've done Heath's little farm as well. It's a very tiny farm, and this time around we're coming to Tori's farm, and I did a very short create a sim video on her, so you can totally check that out. I will be linking it in the top of the screen. So this farm was where Tori grew up, and it is called Whispering Willows. It was a very successful plantation, and it has fallen into disrepair. Tori, she's always despised the farm and all the work that comes along with it, so it's not like she participated in keeping this farm as a thriving place. However, I mean, her family is gone, the farm hands are gone, the parents died a few years ago, so that's why the place is in the state that it is in. But it used to be so beautiful. It used to be a thriving place. There were orchards and a lively, clean pond where the dad could go fishing, and the willow trees. Oh my gosh, they just loved the willow trees, which is why it was called Whispering Willows. And they just had so much history. Her family did have so much history on there. There's a big barn, and it has space for llamas as well as cows, and just a lot of storage space on the inside as well, in regards to maybe doing a lot of handwork and stuff like woodworking stuff, etc. There is chicken coops on the other side of the barn closer to the pond area, and then there's this big open field as well where you get to where crops are supposed to be anyway. And then there's some storage sheds, and then there's this little windmill that I put on the side. Is it a windmill? Is the rotating water wheel? It's the water wheel, and with a little storage shed like that's like the gardener's shed. It's all the way on the other end of the farm though, so we're not going to get into that. It's either with that, I guess. So anyway, I found the design for this particular build, this structure. I found it on Pinterest, and I like that it was an old farmhouse. And the way that I wanted to go with this is that it is it's a bit run down. It is the place is overgrown. The house is slightly on a hill, a slight hill I should say, but there are two enclosed porches. So basically with the farm, what's happening with that is that the house is in some state of disrepair, but it's not overly bad. I mean, it's mostly some structural damage, but it's slight ones that can be easily taken care of. So some of the rooms have no lights, some of the light bulbs are out, some items are missing because they were stolen, and of course there is some old worn furniture, and they're all draped. You will see all that when we get to that in the end. And the wallpaper is worn out, and there are some broken windows and mirrors, as well as lots of cobwebs, etc. But like I said, we will get to that eventually. So here I'm basically just trying to create the orchard, and I do change it at the end. I felt that I added too many dead trees and I didn't like the look of it. But oh my gosh, this part here is just so satisfying to me. It's just the way, it's almost like, you spray painting something and then all the green comes through. So anyway, this was the orchard, and her mom used to like to sit out here sometimes, and just smell the sweetness of the ripening fruits, etc. So her mom Beatrice, by the way, and her dad was Leslie. So they would come out here and just, just be there and smell the ripening fruit, etc. But now it's just an empty space basically, and that is what the empty dead space. So there's a broken fence in the back, and there's a track through where people have passed through, and they've left this little worn path behind. But of course we've moved on. The video is going much faster than I am. We've moved on, and we're now creating the barn. I tried my very best to do this, guys. Barn building is not my, I'm not very good at it. But I tried my best with this, just to try and make it look like it is an actual barn. I do feel that it's just a little bit off, but I also feel that it worked well as well. I do use CC in this, in that it is I use some from Harry, and I use some from the, oh my gosh, the Cottage Living CC pack. It's not that, I forget the name, but it's from the Plumbbob Tea Society, and I just love their CC. It has that little rustic, maybe rustic romance CC pack or something of the sort, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I did use that CC pack. I've always kept it in my game, so good. So in her making the space for the to house the cows and the llamas that she will eventually get. I mean, the space is there for it, so obviously it can definitely be done. I used the barn. I styled the barn the same way that SolieSims actually did a tutorial on how you can design a barn like this, and of course hers was just a little bit smaller. I made it so that the barn is just a little bit wider, so there is enough more space, I guess. I don't know. I'm also kind of thinking maybe they used to house horses or something as well, though we don't have horses in game, but guys, you know what I mean. And I get around to doing the chicken coop on the other side. So this side here is for the chickens. We only have 2 coops to start with, but it's blocked off. And the way that I want to do this LP is that, I mean, certain places are just blocked off to her right now. She doesn't have access to it, so she has to slowly make her way to getting where she's supposed to go. So this is actually the farm that Heath has been badgering Agatha and Christy. Well, more so Christy than Agatha, because Agatha isn't really he's not on very best terms with her about, because he's seen this place is just a rundown and everything, and he knows the potential of the space. So I'm also making a greenhouse. Again, this she doesn't have access to it as yet, because I'm going to make it overgrown and just blocked off, and even the plots of the planters inside, they are overgrown as well, and they have bits of clumps of grass and overgrown herb bushes, etc. So whilst there, I mean, it is usable, she just doesn't have access to it currently. And I tried so hard with this one, as you guys will see, because I went around and I changed all the windows up and just changing the style of the place on the whole. It was just it was interesting just trying to build this greenhouse in the way that I thought that I wanted to see it done. And again, I used some of the CC from Harry's collection on House of Halleck, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll of course be linking it in the description box below, so it will just be easier for you to be able to grab it if you need to. And I just wanted to make like the appearance of an open doorway, and I use windows for that. So basically that's what that was. And yeah, so as we know, Tori, she left. She ran away from the farm basically with one of the crew from this commercial that she got access to, and she just left her family and everybody behind, and they absolutely knew nothing about what was going on with her, what was going on with her life for so many years. She just dropped off the I want to say, just dropped off the radar basically with her family, and they couldn't get in touch with her. And the farm was going down. The And I guess probably to just the heartbreak of it all, because she was their only child, and then for her to just abandon them like that because of a little bit of fame. So they would occasionally see her on television, etc., because she was this big actress, but they just had no way for them to contact her. She didn't want to have any contact with them, I should say. So all the letters, all the correspondence that they were trying to send over the last few years, she just totally ignored it. She totally didn't acknowledge them at all, until it got to a point where she is high and dry and she has no choice. She has to come back home. So the pride and joy of the farm, the way her mom saw it, the way her father viewed it, it's all gone now. And she is at the gates and she is heartbroken, having seen the space, because she's thinking, okay, I can head back on home. Yes, I know it's been all that time that I have been no contact at all. However, they're my family, and she knows how much her father has a soft spot for her, and her mother just dotes on her completely. She figured she would just burst into some crocodile tears, etc., and they would forgive her and she would be able to move back in. But then when she gets there, there's overgrown shrubbery and just bush around the whole landscape. There are broken fences and pathways, and yeah, everything is just gone. The greenhouse is a mess. That's one of the first things that she sees, and just all the overgrown pathways and just everything. Even the orchard, she remembers running through the orchard as a child, helping her mom pick fruit and just the helpers as well. And then now everything is just gone. Everything is just gone. So I do want to start this off. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do it, if I'm going to be focusing on animals first or maybe the gardening first, because I did do the garden plot and I added I even have honeybees as well. And we're heading over to the garden area right now. It's a fairly small plot, and I just suspect that maybe Henford Bagley is more of a dairy place, like a dairy farm place, but it's only like a handful of people that actually do the dairy farming. So that's why it's just more heavily with animals, more like an animal farm community. So while they do have crops, which I'm doing right now with that section, it's not the only thing that she's focusing on. And again, later on we will see how she decides which way that she's going to decide to go, if she's going to focus solely on dairy or if she's going to focus solely on crops. We will see how it goes. I don't know. So basically, yes, so that's what I did. I put in some bees as well. I figured eventually that will come in handy, and I did put Patchy in, hoping that she would be able to eventually have a good relationship with him, so she can have him help out with that area as well. Because guys, she has absolutely no skill in gardening, etc., and I'm not even sure that I want to have her get fully into gardening, like I said. But for the farm, I actually did put in a couple of mushrooms, because I figured the type of soil that it was, and that mushroom is something that can just grow almost anywhere, that the mushroom is right now the only crop that she has actively growing. So there is that. Now this little area is the little shed thing that I was telling you guys about that I did. This is like the gardening shed, and what's in there basically is just oh my gosh, I can't even remember what I put in there. I think it's just mostly storage, so it's more things for the gardening shed, like I said, for pots and shelves and with seeds, etc., anything having to do with the potting, etc. I strongly believe that that's where some of them have been placed, simply because there was nowhere else to put it. I mean, the storage shed that is next to the garden area is blocked off, and there's a padlock on the door maybe, so there is no access to that. And then the barn is in desperate need of repair as well. I suspect that it's not the barn, that like the store, the wood, etc., needs to be changed and replaced. And I wish I had a way for me to make it so that like there was a hole in the roof or something. That would have been so cool to add. So to show like maybe there's damp and water coming in, so it's causing the woods, etc., to just to be too saturated. It's not a safe place, the barn, inside anyway, but there is a storage space on the inside of the barn, where the old truck is. So as you can see, we're moving into the house. What I've done in the house is I did the layout. So this is basically a 3-bedroom 2-bath house, and the master bedroom has the master bedroom, there's a walk-through closet, and then you go in through to the bathroom. And then when the entryway, there are 2 basic entryways, and I kind of put like boards around it because the place is just overrun with trash. I mean, looters and just people passing through, maybe backpackers as well, and just not, the savory types have been stopping in here. And so the place was completely trashed for a while. There, even in one of the screen porches, there's an old tent where somebody apparently was using the screened area for them to sleep in, like a squatter. So all of that is in there as well, so you guys will see. And just some of the banisters are broken off, as well as the wooden paneling. And then when the lawyer, who is in charge of the estate, obviously came, he just boarded everything up. But the house had fallen into a serious state of disrepair. But like I said, it's not anything. It needs a lot of work and a lot of love and energy to go into there to make it back to how it was. A lot of the things are missing from the house, which is why the house is mostly bare, like I said. And I did use those chairs, and I've never used those chairs before, those sofas and chairs from the spooky pack with the sheet over it. But I just felt that it suited that space. Like, these are really good pieces of furniture maybe, and they were draped over when in cleaning up the place. And these are just some things that the looters, etc., were not able to take with them when they were going. I'm so excited to see how Tori will do this, because she, the type of person that she is, right? She's high maintenance, she's materialistic, and she's a snob. I would love to see how she will handle being in this space. I imagine that it would just drive her crazy. So what I did is I put up a whole bunch of cracks on the walls, etc. There's lots of stains as well. There's mold and mildew and just messiness all over the floors, over the rugs, over the carpets. So I guess she has a lot of work cut out for her. But is she really ready for her to handle this, and can she handle this? Oh my god, guys, the kitchen, I could not figure out what I wanted to do with the middle of the kitchen. I tried so many different things and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. In the end, guys, I just went with a large round rug and I just left it at that. That's it. I just put the round rug and that was it. I hope I didn't overdo with all the scattered newspapers and just stuff, but I felt that it suited the space to make it look kind of run down, etc. But basically there are 2 entryways. So there's one off the garage that leads into the kitchen. It also, there are 3 entryways if you think of 4, but anyway, 2 main entryways. So there's one off the garage that leads into the garage and out through the front. That's like a little stop, I guess, from the garage, like I said, to go into the kitchen when you're coming in that way. The screen porch, of course, is off of the kitchen. There's one off of the kitchen going out to where there's the where she would hang up her clothes, but that line is broken. The clothesline is broken right now. And then there is this little screened off porch that was, luckily it didn't get much damage because it was already sealed off before anybody got into there. But there was, of course, there was some debris, etc., that blew in, but it wasn't overly done, and that is off to the parents' bedroom. So the master bedroom had like this little and entertaining space, I guess you could say, and it opened out into like a private backyard or like a private courtyard that was just for, you know, entertaining, and like some just a little nice space that overlooked the farm. So that's what was there. So I went ahead and tried to create a bed, and then I remembered I wanted to get a bed with an uncomfortable I don't know what you call that setting. It you don't get much comfort from it. But then I remembered that I had a CC bed when I went upstairs. Actually, I had a CC bed that did the same thing from 6am, and basically that is what I did. So I added that. I added that there instead. So eventually that blue bed, it will be shifted over, and then you will see. So basically this room, I mean, it's a mess. You can see the carpet is grody and just ugly and disgusting, and then there's going to be like clothes piles around. There's like condom wrappers around. There's probably hypodermic needles as well, and you guys know what's going on in there. And then there's dirty plates and glassware, etc., and like food containers, etc. In fact, most of the house has these little things like bits of food container, etc., that have just been scattered all around. And yeah, so that's what happened in there. I did go in and I made all the counters dirty, as well as the sinks and the stove as well. The toilets are dirty, and I think there's an option I didn't even know about that you can clog with vines. I didn't even know that was a thing. But so the sinks are clogged as well. So my goodness, Tori is going to have a time of her life when she gets in there. That's all I'm going to say for that. So we moved on to upstairs, and upstairs is basically like this loft area, and then the balcony leading into the 2 bedrooms, which used to be a guest bedroom, which I've actually locked off. Some of the things were already stolen from there, but there is a bed that is just a little bit of better quality, and a wardrobe that's just a bit beat up, but that's all that's left in the room. And but it's boarded up and it's closed off after they realized that the looters were getting in there, so they just pushed something against it to lock it off, and then that's basically it. So this room I'm decorating now used to be, this is when I realized that I could change the bed, and I did, and I actually put in a gray bed cover, because I figured like it used to be white, but with all the grime and everything, it turned into that gray color. Excuse me. And this is Tori's room that I'm decorating. Well, her room when she used to be a child. So there is no bed. Somebody stole the mattress. As you can see, there are packed up boxes, etc., that was put there from when, I don't know, from when they were planning on closing up the space. So a lot of things are missing in the house basically, and that's basically it. Lots of things are missing in the house, and there are a few rundown things here, there, and just everywhere. I mean, there's pizza, as you can see, like moldy pizza that's probably stuck to the floor, and the boxes, and yeah. So that's just how it is. And then I went around and I removed a lot of the lighting that I put in just for me to be able to see what I was doing to decorate and stuff, because I did dim that there are lighting fixtures in the house, but I just dim them all the way down so that it would be easier to portray the story that I'm going with. So yeah, so that's it. So we're going to go ahead and head into the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait, guys, to get into this story with you. I've worked so hard on getting the backstories and everything going, and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.